Hello guys and welcome. Today I wanted to talk a bit about my Stormblood experience in Final Fantasy XIV and also a little bit about World of Warcraft. And like, you guys were correct when you told me that during my Heavensward live streams that the further I go with the expansions in Final Fantasy XIV, the better it gets. I was actually quite surprised when I saw that in freaking Stormblood you can actually dive and swim as well, because during Heavensward and ARR it was not possible for us to swim or enter the water. And there are like new features being added to the game. And I think that's so interesting that Final Fantasy XIV evolved not only by more quests and new jobs, but even certain in-game features like mechanics were added, like swimming, diving and all that. And the story is a very interesting one so far. I got to fight against Xenos, a very strange dude. I still don't know what Xenos exactly wants from us, because he always freaking defeats us and then he just moves on and spares us all the time. It's kind of like he wishes to be defeated. He's a very strange dude. But yeah, I got to fight against him again, and I think the story is so fascinating of Stormblood, and with the resistance and freeing Alamigo and freeing Doma. So I'm really enjoying this so far, the whole story. It's a very cool one. I can't wait till I get to Shadowbringers, because I was told Shadowbringers is also called Feelbringers, because there are so many emotional quests. And oh wow, I'm really curious about it. And I'm also curious about Endwalker. It's coming out soon. It's just like, I think 2 or 3 weeks till it comes out, right? So I'm super hyped and excited about it. And wow. Yeah, in World of Warcraft, we finally maxed out our Dark Iron Dwarf, what is really cool. So we got now a Shaman on level 62, we got a Balanced Druid now level 60, the DK has been level 60 for a while, almost item level 200. Yeah, and the Warlock is still there, so I'm also progressing there quite a lot. I plan on live streaming more regular again, but there's still like several Easter egg videos to World of Warcraft that I'm still going to release and make in the next couple of days. And I hope I can get at least to Shadowbringers before Endwalker comes. And I'm gonna stream from time to time on Twitch too. But yeah, it's actually interesting how they do this in Final Fantasy XIV, where certain characters you meet in, let's say, ARR or in Heavensward, how they still have such an importance, and how you see their backstory more in depth and more deeper the further you go in the expansions in Final Fantasy XIV. I think the people that write those quests and come up with those stories and the background of the characters, they are doing a very good job at Square Enix. From all the MMOs I've played so far, I would say Final Fantasy XIV has maybe the best quests and the best dialogues from all of them. The only thing that I wish was a bit deeper in Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm seeing this also in Stormblood, is if there was like more lore and backstory to certain races and tribes and kingdoms and stuff like that. Because it seems to be more focused on the characters and the way the characters are connected with the player or with certain events that are happening. But hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to keep in mind, like, there are certain games, and if you have played them before, like Elder Scrolls Online or World of Warcraft, you maybe have like a super high expectations about lore to certain areas, to certain races and stuff. And maybe my standards are high with that when it comes to lore, right? From World of Warcraft and ESO. But overall, I would say from all the MMOs I'm playing, Final Fantasy XIV is the best in quests. Combat is also getting more and more interesting. Like, I've noticed during the Stormblood dungeons that there are like some very interesting new mechanics and like double and triple mechanics, where you dodge a certain mechanic and then you walk somewhere and there's like a new mechanic, you have to dodge that again. I think it's actually really cool how in Final Fantasy XIV like dungeons are designed, and the raids. I think the raids are really fun. I really enjoyed Crystal Tower, for example. This is like my first raid I did, and it was a very cool experience for me, like, seriously. And how like healers are a hybrid between DPS and heal, same with tanks. This makes it so fun to play as a healer, because I recently switched to Astrologian. I'm already level 66 or about to be level 67. And I've been only leveling from the main story quest line. So if you do in Final Fantasy XIV the main story quest line, that's enough to max your character. What is so freaking cool, because in other games you need to grind endless hours in dungeons and mobs till you can even get to a certain level where you can like continue a certain expansion or quest. But it seems like if you don't play too many jobs in Final Fantasy XIV and you just stick to like 1 or 2 jobs, you can do like the whole main story without having to grind your character in between, what is really nice. And I hope soon we will learn more about this Xenos dude and why he spares us, because sometimes I even think that he's maybe good or something, but he's not. He's like a tyrant, like the way he's to people, but he has some sort of interest in us, the Warrior of Light, and I'm still trying to understand why that is, like why he always spares us, because he's certainly super OP. He can beat us all even in a group, and I don't get this dude. I will hopefully find out soon why he spares us. But yeah, it's a very good experience so far. Unfortunately, because I'm recently grinding a lot in World of Warcraft, I haven't been playing as much Final Fantasy XIV as I used to. I still play sometimes, but on some days I only get to play like maybe like 2 hours or so, because I still need to grind certain characters, and I'm also preparing a lot of videos for the next days. So this also takes a lot of time, but I will be back streaming soon. And this will be either here on YouTube or on Twitch, because I stream on both platforms. So you can also check out my Twitch if you haven't and leave a follow. We had some very, very amazing streams there the last couple of weeks, and it has been fun. And yeah, I will definitely max out my characters in World of Warcraft, and I'm also going to see if I can at least reach Shadowbringers until Endwalker comes. But hey, that's good. At least I'm not spoiling anything. Like imagine we already completed everything and I would like freaking stream Endwalker. Nobody's gonna watch me because they're gonna be like, oh, spoiler alert. No, I don't want to see Marcel play this because I haven't done this quest already. So I actually feel like it's good that I'm a little bit behind, because now all of you can watch me, or like most of you, let's say, and you don't have any spoilers, right? Because it can be tricky making content or streaming Final Fantasy XIV at times because of the spoilers, because yeah, spoilers are very disliked by the FF14 community, and I get it guys. Like the story is so incredible, it's so amazing. Like why would you spoiler this and remove the excitement for new players to experience that, right? So I completely understand that. It's actually cool that I'm back to making WoW content as well, together with Final Fantasy XIV content, because of the spoilers. Because that way I can make more spoiler-free videos and still keep going with the content, right? Because unfortunately the algorithm on YouTube is like this: if you don't upload almost every day, or at least every second, like your videos are going to be less promoted, including the older ones you did, right? So in a way I'm like forced to release almost daily content, and with Final Fantasy XIV alone I couldn't do that because of the spoilers, right? Because I would need to make a video about every single quest, every single sort of info I find about characters and stuff, and we don't always have patch notes that I can review. So I love now having actually this balance of World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV on this channel. The only downside is it will take a bit slower for me in FF14 to progress, because I'm playing 2 games at the same time. But hey, it's cool, and I'm really loving Stormblood. I think I like it a tiny bit more than Heavensward. And Heavensward was incredible. Like, you can't even compare ARR with Heavensward. Like, Heavensward is on a whole different league. It is more depth, and you can see that ARR was, can you say, rushed? Because they had to like save Final Fantasy XIV. So when you're doing like quests in ARR, you see there was a tiny bit of rush. And in Heavensward they took like more time to do the things, right? And you can clearly see that. And Stormblood was probably super relaxed because they saved already FF14 with ARR and with freaking Heavensward. So maybe that's why it gets better. Plus technology is advancing and you have more story already to start with, right? So yeah, I'm really excited for the end of Stormblood and for Shadowbringers. And yeah, if you guys are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And I'll also really appreciate if you like this video. And please stay all safe and healthy. And I will see you guys next time.